Hello Aquarius, welcome to your February forecast. Let's get straight into your channeled message for this month. Most of you know how I do this, but in case you don't, I like to select a deck of cards. Actually, I look at all the cards before I get started, and I say a blessing, I meditate. And as I do that, I usually get a couple of things: images, sounds, sometimes words, and I got all of that for you. What I started to see as I was meditating was an image of someone kind of marching along, and I heard the sound of a drum and literally kind of put it together that this is a month where your individuality, marching to the beat of your own drum, is going to be very, very important for you. And I wrote down a couple words here. I wrote down the word community, and then I said not focusing on group approval or external sort of praise that would be key to your success. And so it is your own voice, your own individuality, your own uniqueness that is what's going to be the attractive force this month. And sometimes it's hard because I know everybody wants sort of like universal acceptance and to sort of be part of a group. But what I'm seeing here is that by sometimes going against the grain, by sometimes speaking out or being a voice that not everyone agrees with, your point of view, your energy is going to inspire people and attract the right kind of people into your sphere. So if you've noticed that perhaps as of late some people have fallen away, maybe they're not calling as often, or you just haven't felt the need to hang out, this is a natural occurrence. As you start to sort of find your voice, raise your frequency, and work on yourselves, you will then kind of go into a new sphere where people that are in a like-minded frequency will resonate with you and you'll make new friends. And so really I think that's the opportunity that we're looking at, not just in February, but in a large part in 2019. So I encourage you to basically listen to your heart, continue to meditate on the idea that you're going to be finding a new group, people that understand your point of view, and that this sort of, again, it was very musical, so I feel like it's going to feel right, it's going to flow together when you start to find some of these new friends and these new acquaintances. In my mind, I also, because sometimes when I meditate, I see a card. I saw the Six of Wands for you. And if I were to sort of take apart some of the pieces of the Six of Wands, it goes into what we were just talking about, which is that you have everything that it takes to be a success, to be powerful, to be recognized, to be on your own way. But sometimes you can worry or second guess yourself. And I think I was listening for some reason, you know how you can click on links in YouTube and end up in a place you never imagined. But I was looking at an interview with Oprah Winfrey the other day, and I forget who she was talking to. Maybe it was Marianne Williamson. But the two of them were talking about that moment in time where you realize, I should have listened to my voice. And Oprah said that that was like one of the hardest things for her, as she got older and when she knew better. So I want you this month, if there's something that you either really feel is right, or you know that you should or shouldn't do something, I want you to follow that intuition and don't worry about group pressure around you. Because when you follow your true voice, your true north, then you're naturally going to be attracting success and the quote-unquote right kind of people, okay? So there was a lot to unpackage there, but I hope that the last part really kind of helped clarify it. You're on the right track. I want you to stay true to your vision. Sometimes this will be difficult, but in the end, you'll be happy that you didn't compromise. And the success and the group of people that are around you, when you find that success, they're going to be the true advocates, the true friends, and the true chosen family. Okay, let's go ahead now and take a look at all of the cards and see what additional information comes through for your sign. I'm going to pull the camera down, and one change from last month, I'm just going to pull all of the cards first so that we don't have to go back and forth with the camera angles. So let's go ahead and do that now. I'm going to start with past, present, and future influences for the month. And now we are going to add on the Catalyst card. And for me, the Catalyst is a way to maximize the positive energy of the month, avoid any sort of pitfalls, and really achieve the most success as possible. We'll expand the forecast looking at health, wealth, love, and destiny. And again, don't worry, the analysis for each of these cards will follow in just a moment. Let's go ahead and take a look at each one of these. We'll begin with your catalyst. And the message in the catalyst is to focus on the moment, to live in the present. We have this now card, it's reversed. What I like about the card is it shows that if you've not been giving yourself time to sort of celebrate little successes, we see this person basically harvesting or reaping the rewards that they've earned so diligently. I would say this moment, this month, right now, this is your time to enjoy. If you're working really hard and you're not getting enough sleep, if you're not having time to spend with your family or your friends, or you're generally just feeling sort of stressed or stretched a little thin, this card is reminding you that we aren't living for tomorrow. We're not living for 10 years from now. There are no guarantees in life, and so every day, make every day count on some level. Have little celebrations of accomplishments. Reach out to someone that you love. Do something that feeds your mind, body, and spirit. This living in the present should happen every day at every age. So whether you are 10 or 110, this message absolutely is important for you. And I would say it's really important for every sign. So it's coming through this month for you though, because when you're present and enjoying this moment, you might be open to something new because your heart's going to open up and you might notice something around you. I talk to one of my family members and always remind them to look up or look around or enjoy things. I try to do the same thing too, because you may catch the eye of someone who you can start a conversation with. You may notice that there's some opportunity around the corner, quite literally, that you can use to your benefit. You might also be picking up on a conversation. How or why this works out, it doesn't really matter. The important thing is to understand that like energy attracts like energy, or like attracts like. And so if you can go into a higher space using gratitude, using joy, and just being appreciative of where you're at, how far you've come, that's going to attract future success your way. And I don't want to fast forward, but that is the central theme this month. We do have the Wheel of Fortune here, and we'll talk more about that in a second. Let's begin first with your past influence, which is the 10 of Fire. And this is 10 of Wands in most decks. And this one is given the caption, The Cage. I find this interesting because whenever you're at the 10 of any suit, there's this excitement and sort of jubilation, but there's also frustration sometimes because you're waiting for things to complete or to finish, or you're waiting for a sign. And you have this month, I'm going to pull the camera down for just a second, you're kind of bookmarked here. You have a money card bookmarked between 10 of Wands and 10 of Swords, the 10 of Swords being reversed, the 10 of Wands being upright. So with the 10 of Wands, this is showing that many of you have worked really hard to be where you're at. It's not indicating just like money and school. This can mean the experience of living. You've maybe not always taken the easy path, or you've had to fight to prove who you are. And talking about the celebration, this is part of what I was addressing in the channeled information. Look at how far you've come on your own personal journey. It could be overcoming, a lack of support. It could be overcoming an addiction. It could be beating the odds and maybe getting an education, the first one in your family. Whatever it is, there's something really interesting about your story that is presenting itself this month that wants to kind of nudge you and say, hey, we're actually doing great. Don't lose track of that. And this is about escaping something that maybe you never thought you could. It's in the past, it's done, but as you know, it's something that happens with human nature. Sometimes we forget what we've been through. So I'm here this month to just kind of give you a quick glimpse of the past, saying you've been through difficult things before. You can get through difficult things again. It's all about context. And if you're in a good place right now, again, understanding that this is a time to celebrate. No matter where you're at, it's actually going to be all right. So for a second here, I'd like to break down what the Wheel of Fortune in reverse can mean for your sign this month, particularly since a lot of you are going through a birthday. For me, this is typically indicating 1 year. A lot of times when I see the sun, or I see the Wheel of Fortune, I see like 4 seasons, or I see one pass around the sun. So for this, I'm seeing that many of you are kind of changing direction. So wherever you've been or whatever you're doing right now, if you're not happy with it, this is the moment where you decide, I'm going to try something new. I'm going to shift my focus. I'm going to change my mind and embrace a new direction. Because we have the Wheel of Fortune here, this involves, for many of you, how you feel about yourself, self-worth, or how you're dealing with your money. And so you could make some decisions about both that are going to suit you better for the next year. And perhaps maybe if you're still working, to get a new job. If you're studying something and you're younger, this could be a change of direction, a change of major. And if you're retired, this could be a decision of, again, it could be dealing with how you spend or deal with your savings or how you spend your time. Because to me, resources, when we're looking at Pentacles or the Wheel of Fortune, it's time, energy, and money. So there's something about your expenditures in your resources this month that needs a shift, and this is the month to do it. One of the things that I'm seeing here in future influences, and this can help you make your decision when we're looking at Ten of Wind, or in this deck that is the Swords suit, is that you want to try to step away from things that bring a sense of distress, pain, frustration, and you want to honor all of the work that you've done. You don't have to keep proving yourself. That's basically the message this month. You don't have to explain yourself to other people. All that's important this month is to work on self-fulfillment, self-development, and trying to shift energy into a place that feels good, where there's reciprocity. And if you're doing that this month, you're going to attract success, you're going to feel richer with whatever you actually have, and you'll be healthier. Because that Ten of Swords in the future, even though it's reversed, it's showing that there's unnecessary struggle or pain. The whole reason we're having this conversation this month is hopefully to help you embrace the fortune part of it, the Wheel of Fortune, not the stress. And to also, again, appreciate how much work you've done, because there's a nice story that I see across those three cards. Let's go ahead and dig a little deeper. We'll look at health, wealth, love, and destiny, starting with health. Your health message this month really is revolving around perspective. Whenever something challenging goes on in our life, it could be an accident and we lose control of part of our body, or it's taking a long time to recover, or we can't quite get back to where we were. There can be this moment where you think and focus solely on the loss. And then somehow magically you can shift gears and think, well, it's not so much about what I lost, it's about how much I can regain and what I learned from that experience. That kind of moment of insight, it doesn't happen immediately. It's not only natural, but healthy and necessary to go through the grieving process, to process anger, frustration, and all of that. But this month, this card is challenging you, supporting you, encouraging you, in fact, to start to look at your narrative, whatever the pain in your life was, and whatever the pain may be in the future, as this opportunity to overcome. And I talked about Oprah a little bit earlier. She came from a lot of pain in her past, but she used that on a national level to help other people explore the human condition. She was always on her talk show trying to help people. She was trying to understand herself. She was trying to understand other people, and definitely brought the idea of exploring your spirit to a larger audience. And so for that, I'm grateful. But she didn't dwell in the pain. She used her heart. She worked with others, and it was a story of survival and continual growth. And I think that's the message for you this month, is to continue to go, to tell people about what's going on, to hear about other people's stories, and to learn from one another. The pain doesn't define you. It simply is a moment in time that helps push you in another direction. And I think that really, this is the message for you this month. So take your time, process accordingly, know you're not alone, know that this moment in time won't define you, whatever you're going through. And if you're in a place that's happy this month, then really revel in that and know you worked hard to get there, and it's going to make it all the sweeter. And that's really all the pain does for us. It's context. If we were always smoothly going through life, we would never have the appreciation for the really high points. So I hope you're on a high. I hope your birthday is great. I hope that everything's going well. But on the off chance that you're feeling sad or lonely or frustrated, know that in this moment, I'm here for you. And know that there's a lot of people here for you on this planet. And it's going to turn around, and it's going to be okay. All right? Let's go ahead now and take a look at your wealth. We have recognition. So this is more about self-worth than money, but it can also extend to money. If we're looking at worth and self-worth, this is encouraging you, just like I was saying here, and I've been kind of paying it forward, to pay it forward to someone in your life that might be going through a hard time. Just be a voice of encouragement, and recognize something about them. Say, you know what, it's always great that you do this. That one bit of heartfelt gratitude could change their entire day or their life. And it could be the one thing that makes the difference, especially for someone that might be sad or depressed. of turning them around and helping them see that, today is a day that's worth getting through. The other thing with recognition is I want you to look at what's important in your life. And we're looking at both your career, your money, and your opportunities. You have to feel like you are being recognized, and you have to recognize whatever you're putting your time into as worthy. If something in that equation is missing, then it's time to make a change. As we look at love in your life, many of you may have a natural affinity towards the outside or the outdoors, but this is also encouraging you to get out into nature, into public spaces, saying go outside, get some fresh air, and connect with nature to relieve stress and gain new creative ideas. Since this is in your love space, you may also meet someone just by getting out of your normal routine. So if you always go to a certain place for breakfast, change it up. Who knows who you might run into, and also what this might do for the rest of your day. If you're looking for a very easy way to change your energy, you can just shift around your commute or your habits in the morning, because a few different things each day can completely alter everything, just like dominoes. That's how positive habits affect the rest of your life. So that's really the message here, is by putting yourself in different situations, you're going to open up your heart, you're going to meet new people, and also this is important for detoxification and kind of letting go of things. Now, your destiny card this month says, I always trust in the direction of the universe and know I'm being guided. I love looking at or looking for signs like dragonflies, hummingbirds, certain types of birds in general, butterflies as well. So keep an eye out if you're in a warm climate for these sort of things. Otherwise, look for other signs and symbols. License plates, you might be getting messages through that. You may also have certain songs that you hear and remind you of someone. Know that spirit can work in more ways than just through our body, like, through clairaudience, clairsentience, all of that. It can also work through external messages. So pay attention to the signs, literally the road signs, the commercials that you see on TV, that all of this. There are messages coming through that are connecting with you, helping you navigate what's available to you this month, both in opportunities and reminding you sometimes that a loved one is with you. So be aware of those. And if you have anything interesting that you want to share, again, I know a lot of people see license plates as messengers sometimes. Feel free to share that in the comments below. It's always nice to read about how spirit connects to people in different ways. Let's go ahead now and review everything that we talked about, beginning with the channeled information, which of course was centering around that unique voice that you have, that standing out of the crowd is actually what's going to be important to your success, to your happiness, and what's going to attract a like frequency or higher frequency people into your life. As we look at all of the cards here at the very top, there was a message about living in the here and now, really embracing all that is in front of you, all that is available to you, and knowing that you've worked hard to get where you're at. It's important to recognize that as an accomplishment in and of itself. So as we look at past, present, and future this month, there is a story here of change that is really wanting to come through. Wheel of Fortune in reverse encourages you to change the way you're spending your time, energy, and money. Looking at the past, what have you overcome? Looking at the future, what can you avoid by learning from that situation? What I'm seeing here for most of you is that you may want to step out on your own, kind of going with that channeled information, or you may want more autonomy or more control in your life. For those of you that are at a point where you're either at the beginning phase, going to school, or at the end, retired, this means doing what you want and knowing that you still have time to change your direction. Don't try to make other people happy, particularly when it comes to how you live your life or how you work. You are independent, and that independence really wants to sing and be free this month. I heard the music when I channeled it, and so please honor that, and I think you'll find success. Remembering that it's not binary, it's not win or lose this month. Everything that's happened to you has given you context to make you stronger, to make you more resilient, to make you more empathic and more compassionate. Use those skills to heal yourself and to heal others. Recognize how much you're worth, recognize that worth in others as well. Know that it's this self-confidence and building confidence in others that's really important, and more important than the money that you're making right now. Saying I love you, saying thank you, and helping kind of push someone in a better place in their heart is what is important this month, and what's coming through in the signs here and in the cards. And one way that you can meet new people in your life is through changing your routine, going outdoors. not simply sitting in the same space or the same energy or the same way of thinking. Your destiny card is reminding you that the direction, the movement that's happening right now is always divinely guided. Even if we don't understand it in this moment, there are signs and symbols that abound. So I want you to look around for them. As I said earlier, this can extend beyond the typical psychic senses because the universe can deliver messages to you as well. So it could come in the form of a song, a snippet of conversation that you hear that reminds you of someone in your life. It could be a printed message out as you're walking along, looking at the metro or something like that, and you see a billboard. These are all there to kind of encourage you, and the fact that you pay attention to them, it's kind of the same as if you're pulling a card. You're tuning into that message because there's something that's relevant. And if it resonates with you in that moment as more than just something around you, then honor that. That's the universe and that spirit speaking to you. And that's how you start to develop your awareness. And then as you do that, it might actually start to come through the other senses as well. That brings this February reading to a close, but I hope it gave you exactly what you need to navigate through the month. If you ever feel like you want to talk about something in your life to either gain more perspective, or if you have questions that don't really fit into the monthly reading format, feel free to reach out to me. The first link below the video is a way to contact me and look at rates and availability, so feel free to take a look at that and see if it makes sense for you. If you'd simply like to say thank you for all of the energy that goes into making these videos, there is a way that you can give back. I have a Patreon site, and I'm also accepting donations through my website. Those go directly into video production, so something as small as $1, either one time during the course of the year or on a monthly basis, makes a big difference. So check out the second link. Feel free to do that if you're called to. Otherwise, the third link is a way to connect on social media. And before clicking that, if you could like and subscribe this video, it makes a big difference, and you can also share it with someone that you love. These are a great way to show support to the channel, and it requires minimal effort. If you want to join me on, again, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, or have a subscription to my newsletter, which is free, you can click on that third link and take part in all of that. Thank you again for working on your energy, your light, your life. Be that unique voice that I saw in the channeled information, and really help make a change and inspire those around you. That's where your power is. That's where the money and opportunity is this month. There may be a move that's required for some of you, and I forgot to mention that earlier. Please do honor that if you need to do that. It feels like there's some exciting times ahead of you. Don't be afraid of change, and don't be afraid to do what you truly want. Wishing you much love and light now and always. Thank you. See you next month.